approaches them and does not have an orange flag, do not get on it. So please display your flag somewhere that is visible. And if you guys need help with that, let us know. But the main thing today, guys, is safety. If you were with us last time, you know that was really difficult and kind of out of our hands because the winds really picked up. And man, we are hoping that does not happen again, but if it does, we want your equipment to be safe, we want you guys to be safe, we want our jumpers to be safe. So please, no drinking while you're in the middle of picking people up. Please no speeding in your boat. I had one person tell me last time that they're not even sure that they picked anybody up because I had so many boats just kind of attack like piranhas on jumpers. If you've never done this before, I can't promise that won't happen to you too because my repeat boaters are amazing and they get on these jumpers pretty quick. But with that being said, please, please, please be as safe as possible when you're getting to them. We will have a demonstration here in just a minute. For those of you who are new, Chris is going to show what the parachute looks like and does in the water so you guys can get a full understanding. There are a lot of lines that will wrap up in your boat propeller. The best way to approach somebody that is in the water is to, once you get close, turn your engine off and coast over to them if you can. Or, pull the throttle back so you're in neutral. Because that line will get tangled up extremely quickly. And we only have a certain number of these parachutes, so we want to preserve your equipment and ours.
But safety first.
But safety first, yes. If somebody's hurt, obviously, do what you have to do. We completely understand that. Other than that, like I said, I will call you by your boat number on the radio. If there is an emergency, please, please, please call it out as quickly as you can. Hopefully there's at least 2 people on each boat, so that way one person can kind of be attending to the jumper and one person can either respond to me on the radio or help along those lines. Does anybody have any questions for me before I step aside?
What's your call sign going to be?
My call sign is Boat Commander, not Crazy Chick.
Are you sure?
You like Crazy Chick.
Yeah, the Crazy Chick is good.
All right. Anyways, I'm going to turn this over to Chris. For those of you who have been with us for a while, you may or may not have met him at this point. He is one of the overall leaders of Phantom, and he is our DZSO today. He will explain what all that means because I'm not military. I can't help you. And then he'll go ahead and do his little spiel. So thank you guys for being here.
Wait, Shaylee. Phantom wants to thank Shaylee. She's a volunteer, and no one in Phantom gets a paycheck. We're 501c3, and if it wasn't for Shaylee doing this, some guy wouldn't be jumping because he'd be doing her job. And, let's give Shaylee a big hand for keeping you guys rounded up. Shaylee, do you normally tell them to pick up the buoys? There's 4 buoys.
Yeah. There's 4 buoys I asked you guys to kind of help us with last time. Are we having them, asking them to do that again? Okay.
So there's 4 buoys out there, and we're having 4 lifts. Some people scratched this morning, so it won't be an even 10 out of every lift. You might see 9 come out, you might see 11 come out. But don't be surprised, it's not going to be 10 and 10. It's not going to be even because of some people scratching. My name's Chris Stevens, treasurer of Phantom Airborne, and today's DZ safety officer. We've never done this before, and some of you have seen this shoot many times. Probably none of the ones that have seen it never seen it dry. So I'm going to put this harness on it. There's been a whole bunch of different things, and it really is based on wind conditions on what we do. If the winds like today allow the chutes to collapse, we will tell the jumpers in their sustained training at the airfield not to pull a riser. So do not tell if the jumper is treading water, do not tell them to pull a riser. Leave them together. if you pull that riser, it goes down and gets all tangled up, and our riggers charge us more to untangle that mess. Again, safety first. If you're chasing somebody down and you're trying to get ahead of his chute, tell him to pull those risers. Right? That's the only thing that will get him from being pulled, drugged through the water, is him to pull one side or the other and keep well to release the canopy. Our next plan before our next jump is we're going to try to ascertain who's got some speed boats and make these 2 or 3 people boats, strategic boats, that they don't pick up people, but they run down. If the winds are high, they're going to be designated as boat runners to get that chute collapsed. We hope about 7 knots today. We're hoping that doesn't happen, but at 7 knots, if somebody's canopy doesn't go down, he could be drugged. And if we've all had train parts where these guys aren't 18 anymore, so he may be being drugged face down and forget to pull his riser, and he's literally drowning himself. If that is the case, we do have the diving team out here, but they could be someplace else. So if you have the ability, 2 things. You can get in front of that chute, let that chute come over the side of your boat and just collapse it as you grab it. He may even come and hit the side of your boat if the wind, not today, that's not going to happen, but you've got to get that. If he is being drugged face down or on his back, if he's on his back and conscious, just tell him to pop his riser, and that will let the chute fall over, and he won't be being drugged anymore. But if he doesn't appear to be responding to you, I don't know if you guys have anybody else on your boat, but if somebody wants to jump in and pull the chute down, that's fine. Okay? Safety first. If a guy is in stress and you're the nearest person and you think you can help him, but we don't want any of you guys, if you don't feel that that's safe, don't do it. I don't want to have 2 people drown, one in the boat and one there. So, you know, just do what you can to get them stopped. When they're in the water, floating, waiting for you to pick them up. All harnesses these are US Army MC6 harnesses. Parachutes vary, but the harnesses are identical. He will have a chest strap. This guy was smaller than me. He will have 2 leg straps. And they have what we call a Merck's Reserve. These have springs in them that blow out a pilot chute. This handle activates that. Do not grab this handle, or you might have a black and blue nose, chin, or whatever that spring hits. It's a 3-foot long spring, and it's got some power. Anything cotton or nylon webbing you can grab. There's a pin on the side, pin on the top. Do not grab this silver ripcord, because that spring will be in the bottom of the lake. The ripcord will probably be dropped too, and we're at $100. So while it's in the boat, be careful that it doesn't get caught on anything and deploy in the boat. So you'll be under canopy here. The boat here. Somebody grab my belly line here. Just start walking that way.
Somebody help Chris.
Is that what you were pulling on this?
On this side here, right here. Grab that.
One of this side.
With the hook. There you go.
There you go. Okay, he's now pulling the 15-foot extension cord. That's fun.
There he goes.
I just popped a 40-pound piece of cotton that holds that to my back. Now, this is called a deployment bag. It's got a 5-foot extension because this particular aircraft, so it doesn't get caught up in the tail, needs a 5-foot extension, which is that little short piece. You'll never see this because it stays with the plane. Now, if we can pull 80 pounds, and it may take a jerk, I'll go this way, you go that way. We might be able to go.
There he goes.
Suspension lines are coming out now, and there's the canopy. There's another 80-pound at the other end of that breaks when his body weight has this stretched out. Now, so he's going to be floating in the water. That's going to be floating in the water, and these would you have to be careful to keep these out of your prop. These are the suspension lines. Now, if safety requires it, the canopy releases are right here. Hold down, pull that ring, and this separates itself. One side, there is another side, but one side bolts necessary. So we only want to do that if it's a safety issue. Now, we're going to be instructing them to get out of the harness in the water. So they're going to be floating. You want to grab the apex of that parachute. He has the apex. There's a small hole at the top of the parachute. That's what you want to look for. If you can't find it, just grab a piece of silk, and as long as you're going away from the suspension line, you'll run across that apex. And you should pull him back to your boat by pulling in the parachute. And tell him to get out of this harness. So while the boater is pulling me in the water, I'm going to be doing this. One side of the reserve, we'll do this. I'm going to have a life vest on. And I'm just going to stay like this until I'm up to your platform or your stair. At that time, somebody can reach down, grab the harness, pull that in, and he can then help. He can work himself into your boat where you're not having to lift him into the boat. And that makes it easier if he doesn't have the phone to get in your boat. If you got a gel coat on your boat, be careful, these metal buckles can hurt it. We don't want to hurt your boats. The reserve can stay with the harness. You guys will all be issued a bunch of plastic bags. You have the jumper stuff the parachute into that plastic bag. And if you guys want to, I think that's all. Is there any questions? Yes. They shouldn't get tangled. If they pop one of these risers, and this gets free, it will float in the water. Them tread in water will get wrapped around their legs. So that's why it's best. Don't tell them to pop the riser unless they're being dropped. Okay? Let the parachute fall and then pick it up as one unit. Now, if you're pulling him in, you're going to stretch these suspension lines, and he's going to be out there, and that's going to keep some of the mess down. If you go and get him and then the parachute, now you're bringing it all in, and you're going to have a big ball here. So you're better off getting somewhere on the canopy. Just grab grab it somewhere. And all you gotta do is just keep going like this. You will find the apex. The apex looks like that. It won't have this on here. Grab this and then just pull them in like this, pulling this in. There's nothing metal on here, so nothing to hurt your boat. Pull it in, let him get out of the harness, and if all that doesn't work, do the best you can. Tell him, let him. Some of these guys haven't jumped in 30 years, so their brain is running on adrenaline, and they won't take orders well. So they have a dazed look on their face. Some of them say, "Go." You might have to take command and just tell them what you want them to do. That's probably not a bad way. Just tell them what you want them to do, and that is get out of his harness. Now, if he's afraid to get out of his harness, you can bring it all the way to the boat and then have him get out at the ladder, get out of the harness at the ladder. If you guys don't get to me in 5 minutes, I'm laying there ready to swim away. Most of these guys won't be like that. Well, half of them are repeat jumpers. The other half, first time in 30, 25 years. Now, any more questions?